The Regional Expert Committee on Traditional Medicine for COVID-19 hopes that the Phase 3 clinical trials of herbal medicines will begin in October. The committee was formed by the World Health Organization, the Africa Centre for Disease Control and Prevention, and the African Union Commission for Social Affairs. The panel has endorsed the protocols for Phase 3 clinical trials, as well as a charter and terms of reference for the establishment of a data and safety monitoring board. If a traditional medicine product is found to be safe, efficacious and quality assured, the WHO will recommend for a fast-tracked, large-scale local manufacturing. Dr. Ossy Kasilo is the WHO Regional Advisor for Traditional Medicine Programme, and he joins us now on Skype to share some more information on this story. Thanks very much indeed for joining us, Dr. Kasilo. Welcome to the programme.
Thank you very much.
All right, this is
the first protocol. Yes, the first protocol that was endorsed by the Regional Expert Advisory Committee is a generic protocol for double-blinded randomized clinical trial for mild to moderate patient medicines for COVID-19. And this protocol will firstly guarantee the safety, efficacy, and quality of the products from the clinical trial. And secondly, as you know, study participants will be protected from any harmful interventions. And thirdly, the data of the study participants, which is normally confidential, will be protected. And finally, the protocol will ensure that the results of the clinical trials are not contested. The second document endorsed by the Regional Expert Committee, as you said, is a charter and terms of reference to establish a data and safety monitoring board for clinical trials developed by the World Health Organization and Africa CDC jointly. The board is an independent committee from the one that endorsed the documents we are discussing now. And this independent committee will ensure that data from accumulated clinical trials or studies are reviewed periodically against participant safety. And the board will also recommend the continuation or the modification or the termination of a trial based on evaluation of data at the predetermined periods during the study, depending on the results that are being accumulated.
All right. So I am curious, and I think a lot of our viewers are probably trying to figure out, you know, they've all got their own experiences of what traditional medicines look like and what traditional medical therapists look like. How do you bring that whole world into almost Western clinical trial conditions?
Yes, this is because whether we are talking about traditional medicine or we are talking about conventional medicine, the criteria for safety, efficacy, and quality is the same. So we should not think that because these medicines are natural, they can be used the way they are. Of course, we know that 8% of the populations in Africa, in Asia, and Latin America use these medicines. But we need to ensure that the populations using this magnitude of medicines, they must be of quality assured. They must be safe. They must be efficacious. And it is only through science that we can produce this evidence. And that's why we've developed these protocols to ensure that the products that currently they are being used by countries because there is no cure, there must be medicines that are good. And Africans deserve to use medicines that are safe and of quality we hope that through these protocols, we may be able to find a cure for this pandemic.
Has any traditional medicines so far shown any indication that they might be helpful in managing this pandemic?
Not yet, as far as we are aware. We know that there are some countries in the region, such as Benin, Guinea, Nigeria, South Africa, for example. There are more. These are just examples that have done preclinical, and Madagascar as well. They've done preclinical safety testing, that is testing the herbal medicines in animals, and also they are in phase 2 clinical trials. And so these protocols that have been endorsed by the Regional Expert Advisory Committee on the 22nd of September, these are for the clinical trial phase 3, meaning that we will build the data that has been found, if they are robust enough, to continue to support these countries to conduct phase 3. But so far, we don't have a product that has already gone through has finalized phase 3 clinical trials to say that to be scientifically proven that it is safe, it is efficacious, and of good quality. But we are hoping that this will happen soon, because if countries are in phase 2, they will go now into phase 3 very soon. It is only through these trials that we can say whether a medicine will be good or not. So we have not yet, there is no country in the region that has already finalized phase 3. So we can't say for the moment that this is the product that has been found.
All right. I mean, it is quite an ambitious project. I mean, if I think about how many countries are in our continent, how many different ethnicities exist on the ground with their own traditions and traditional medicines, how does a body like yours start to try and put all of this together and gather all this data from different parts of the continent with different concoctions?
And that's why the World Health Organization and the Africa CDC have established the Regional Advisory Committee for Traditional Medicine on Traditional Medicine for COVID-19, which will help out the countries, particularly those who need this support, to better conduct these clinical trials. And of course, once we have finalized these protocols, we will translate them into the various languages, which are 3 in Africa: English, French, and Portuguese, and disseminate them to all the countries. But of course, if we want also to collaborate with the EMRO countries, we will have to translate them into Arabic, because the majority of the people in North Africa, they speak Arabic. But after that, the countries will not start immediately, because there is another very important step whereby the ethics committee in those countries have to approve the ethical and technical content of those protocols. And secondly, the national medicines regulatory authorities have to approve the regulatory aspects, depending, in line with the national regulatory requirements. After that, then, of course, the study sites needs to be inspected to see the feasibility of conducting these studies, and then the countries will now be ready to start. However, in order to support the countries to do this, we have also developed other tools which are very important, like the investigators brochure, which provides additional information on the clinical trials, so that the team that will be investigating those products will all be at the same page and will follow these procedures, as well as the standard operating procedures that we have developed. Under normal circumstances, some of these documents are developed on site. But as we are in an emergency and we want to find the cure very quickly, we have developed most of them so that the countries won't lose time to start developing, these products. And this will be a multi-country studies, meaning that more than 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 countries will be evaluating, these products, so that we can pull the results together. And also it helps to have the required number, of patients. As you know now, for example, the number of patients are going down. So it will be important that these studies are multi-country or multi-center studies in order to get the required numbers, of patients.
All right. So
and we think that with WHO...
Yeah, what we're talking about seems as if you're focusing on a lot of medicines that are going to be mainstreamed and then perhaps mass-produced. 60% of the continent is rural. A lot of people are going to carry on with their traditional practices. How do you bring in such a huge number of people into scientific studies like this? I would put it to you that most people are just going to go and get their traditional medicines from their traditional medical practitioners in the way that they've always done, and they'll say, good luck to you with your studies.
Actually, we have already been working with countries for the past few months. We have put in place mechanisms whereby the traditional health practitioners will not go to the media to announce, as they've been doing, as they were doing in the beginning, that we have these medicines for cure. All these medicines that they have to be submitted to their national medicines regulatory authorities or to their national programs of traditional medicine, so that the scientific committee, the national scientific committee that have been established by the government, will select these medicines following a specific criteria. So at the moment, the most of the products that are being selected from the traditional medicine practitioners are, those with anti-inflammatory effects, those with antiviral effects, and those with the cardiovascular effects, just to mention a few. And we did this after having convened a regional meeting where more than 100 participants, including traditional health practitioners, came together to discuss various issues, including how we should work with traditional health practitioners, because by then they were going to the media to just announce that we have these products, and people were rushing to them. So we put a mechanism whereby things will be more organized, and all the countries in the region have set up established national committees which are helping them to actually select these products. So they have handed over to the ministries of health all these products which are being selected. Of course, not all of them will be able to be evaluated, but at least this is important, that the medicines that have been selected will be evaluated, and the participants will be those who will be admitted to the hospital. We understand about the diversity of culture and the diversity of culture in our continent. And in some cases, it is important to go through the chiefs, such as in West Africa. One will have to go through the chiefs to discuss about the protocols, what are the benefits, what are the possible ultimate reactions, so that they, talk to the community and help to select some of the people who may be asymptomatic, but they have the disease. So all these things will be done. And don't forget that the World Health Organization has 47 WHO country offices in the 47 countries we are working with, and we have our focal points in the various domains. And all this is a network of our focal points and experts who will be helping out, the selection and the work that the regional office in Brazzaville will mandate the countries to do.
Dr. Kasilo, we're going to leave it there. We wish you the best of luck. This sounds like a great and noble project, and we certainly hope that we can mainstream some of these traditional medicines as they can help with the universal health care that we're all trying to achieve. Thank you so much indeed for joining us on the program today, and good luck.
Thank you very much. One thing I want to reassure you is that there are over 90 traditional medicine products today that have been registered by the national regulatory authorities, and more than 40 products have been included in National Essential Medicines list. So I believe that if we do this science as we did for these products, it is possible to get traditional medicines that could be used for COVID-19. Thank you very much for your attention.
And we look forward to that. Thank you so much indeed.